Welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I am Steve Shaw, editorial director at TigerFitness.com and Muscle and Brawn Nutrition CEO. Q&A Saturday with the big, hairy, ugly dude. Got 4 pages of questions. Woo, look at that magic trick. Got 4 pages of questions. I'm going to break it up into 2 Q&A videos. One today, one tomorrow. I don't want to miss out on your questions, so check back tomorrow on Sunday for the second Q&A video. Before I get into the question, guys, if I answer your question in a video and you want a free copy of either of my books, Massive Iron, which is a complete 200-page base building book, or Massive 6, which is a complete beginner program, you can check out my email below. Email me if I feature your questions in these videos. I'll send you a copy of either book free, no questions asked. That's how the big, hairy, ugly dude rolls. Now, if you have a question you want me to answer, check out my Q&A link below. I answer every question posted. Every question posted. The best questions I turn into a Q&A video like this. So, tons of good questions. Guys, before I get into the meat and potatoes, a lot of you have been asking me, hey, where is Muscle and Brawn's new pre-workout? It's coming. It's 2 months out. We've been through several tests. We haven't been satisfied with the taste yet. We've been working with a couple of new ingredients. One of them was very bitter, so we're replacing that ingredient. We're trying to bring a new ingredient in. We just don't want this to be another same old, dull, boring pre-workout, so we're trying to get this nailed right, so be patient. So let's get into the questions, guys. First question is from David Whitaker. David says, I'm using a 6x6 on all compound movements. I plan on increasing the weight when I can hit the last set for 10 reps. What do you use to decide when you increase weight, increase the weight you are working with? Really, it doesn't really matter. You just need some goal, Like you're using a 6x6 and you're pushing the last set for max reps. That's fine. You just need some goal on each and every exercise, on each set and rep scheme. It doesn't matter what that goal is. I call this auto-regulated progression. You need some goal on every exercise and set and rep scheme. Over the years, I've used every possible rep variation, set and rep scheme variation, from Doug Hepburn's 8x3 to trying 5x5s to my system, the rep goal system. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a goal. That's the best I can answer that, Dave. As long as you have a goal and you're listening to your body and not beating yourself up, it's all good. All right, next question is from Galdino. Galdino says, hey, Steve, great Q&A, a lot of good questions. Let me ask you about body weight exercises. How do you feel body weight exercises such as pull-ups, chins, and dips? Do you think they could be added into an upper-lower routine? Do you have any kind of tips to get better at these exercises? Yes, I made a video about this earlier, but let me just recap. If you want to get better at body weight exercises, push-ups, dips, pull-ups, chin-ups, I recommend running them in, excuse me, a specialization type of format, meaning you do them 3, 4, or 5 times a week after your training is done. Now, I don't want you to do a lot of sets per day. 1, maybe 2, 3 to 5 times a week, but push them for as many reps as possible. Now, instead of trying to progress on a daily basis, try to progress on a weekly basis. Add up all your reps for that week for these 1 or 2 sets per day. Do the same amount of sets the following week and the week following and the week following and the week following. Just try to improve by 1 to 2 to 3, whatever reps per week. If you're getting those small rep progressions per week, you add that up over the course of 4, 5, 6 months, you are going to be a beast on pull-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, whatever the body weight exercise is. So, I recommend playing the long game, doing them when your regular workout is done. Can you do this on upper-lower? Absolutely. You can use the same type of approach on an upper-lower scheme. Just do them when your regular work is done. You can also superset. Lately I've been doing bench press and then supersetting them with pull-ups. You could do that on an upper-lower approach. You could do bench press and then superset them with pull-ups, bench press and then superset them with dips. You could do, sometimes I do barbell rows or pendlay rows, and I superset them with inverted rows because I suck at pull-ups. Always have, always will, have no idea why. But you could superset barbell rows with pull-ups, curls with chin-ups, whatever. That's how you could work it into a body weight, or excuse me, an upper-lower program. So I hope that's helped. Let me get some gains here. I'm drinking cookies and cream in ice cold water, MTS cookies and cream in ice cold water. If you haven't tried this, this is by far their best seller. I love this stuff. Making gains. All right, next question. Another question from Galdino. He says, in your last Q&A, you answered a question for Lifeless about an upper-lower routine 5 to 6 times per week. And I, the big, hairy, ugly dude, told him not to bench more than 2 times per week. Why? Galdino wants to know why. Wouldn't 3 times a week be better? Look, from what I've found, and I spent 3, 4, 5 years experimenting with frequency training, from what I've found, there is little benefit for most people, not all people, but for most people, not to bench more than 2 times per week. You certainly can try more than 2 times a week. But I have found that when I tried it and the people I was working with, there's generally not a benefit from adding in a third routine. I recommend a heavier day and a more volume day, 2 days a week on bench. So let's say your volume day is on Monday. You want to take 3 days off after your volume day. So Monday, volume bench, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And this is just a sample schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off. Come back on Friday, do heavy. Don't do a lot of reps, but you're going to go heavier on Friday. Then you take Saturday and Sunday off. So you only have 2 rest days after your heavier day because it's generally, you're not as sore, it's not as taxing, you're not in there to beat yourself up, you're just in there to do some heavy work. So I found that skeleton, that format works best. This is basically the format of a lot of powerlifting routines. I've come to this conclusion myself, but if you look at like Westside, they have a heavy day and a speed day, which is kind of the same structure. It's in the same family. So I don't recommend generally for most people benching more than 2 times a week. I found that if you can do it, but you got to cut back the volume, and it kind of becomes distracting. It doesn't really provide any additional benefit from what I found. So that's my opinion. But I still recommend trying it if you're interested, if you want to try benching 3 or 4 times a week. If you want to run a specialization program and bench, what happened there? Big, hairy, ugly dude. Getting all excited. If you want to try benching 3 or 4 times a week, just make sure your volume is reasonable, and that if you want to run a specialization program like that, don't run it more than 4 weeks. Run it for 4 weeks, take a week off, let your body heal. See if it is worthwhile for you. Next question is from Benny Boy 555. Look, dark light. Sorry the light's all screwed up in here. I'm not sure what's going on with this camera today. Benny Boy 555 says, quick question. How do you go about training improving lifts on a cut? I'm basically on a long-term cut and all my lifts have stalled. They are not decreased, but I'm unable to increase my lifts with good form. Should I focus on maintaining my strength during the remaining weeks of my cut and try to increase my numbers when I go back into a calorie surplus? What would the big, hairy, ugly dude do? Look, it's very difficult to increase strength on a cut. You have to, I repeat this over and over again, you have to focus on the things you can control when you're on a cut. That is nailing your diet, and it seems like your diet is nailed down. So boom, you got that? You're focused on what you can control, your diet. Got to nail down good. You're in total control of that diet. Now, effort in the gym. All you can control on a cut is how hard you work each set. Beyond that, you can't control the results. If you have yet to build a substantial strength base, you might be able to build strength on a cut. But most people are going to find it difficult to build strength on a cut, especially an extended cut. Don't get depressed. Focus on the things you can control, nailing your diet and making every workout count. that's all you can do. If you have those two things nailed down, walk out of the gym, walk away from the dinner plate and said, I'm doing good. Don't not try to push sets in the gym. You still want to give that effort. That effort of trying to push in the gym is going to help you maintain gains during the cut. You don't want to half-ass it or cut back on your effort in the gym, because that is a recipe for muscle loss. So don't do that. So Benny Boy 555, I hope that has helped. Let me get some more gains. Next question is from Schmeegs. S-C-H-M-E-E-G-S. Schmeegs says, love the Q&A. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Schmeegs works out at home. He's been using a standard bar and plate so far. Now, a standard bar, for those of you that don't know, is a barbell that's different from a standard barbell that you bench press with at your gym. A standard bar is a little bit thinner. The standard plates, if you've ever seen those barbells, those easy bars or barbells with the weight that's already on them at the gym in different sizes, those are standard plates. I have them and I use them on my adjustable dumbbells in my home gym. He's been using a standard barbell, which is that little teeny tiny barbell, and he's going to move to an Olympic barbell. Schmeeg wants to know, with all the different brands of bars and plates, what would be a good beginning brand and setup for his home gym? Now, I bought about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of equipment from New York Barbell in late 2007, early 2008. It's not York Barbell, it's New York Barbell. Now, New York Barbell has great prices. They're a great economy brand. They're not the top of the line, but look, the big hairy ugly dude's been using their bow bar for squats. I've been using 2 of their barbells. I've been using their bench station, their squat rack, and the big hairy ugly dude has beat the living crap out of that squat rack, those plates, those bars for almost 9 years now. And this stuff, other than a few dings and a little bit of rust, is holding up incredibly well. I couldn't be happier. So I would go over to New York Barbell, check out their bars. They got them, I think they got a base model for $149. That's what I use for benching. That's a pretty darn good deal. Now, they're also on Amazon. You can find New York Barbell equipment on Amazon. I believe a bar is like $149 plus $40 shipping. I have no affiliation with these guys. I use them in my home gym. Not the top of the line. There are some guys out there who will say, oh, you need to get that $800, $900 squat rack and all that kind of stuff. Don't go, cheap or whatever. Look, I'm here to save you money, and this stuff has served me well. I don't know all the brands, all the companies out there, but this is what I use. It has served me incredibly well. I see this stuff lasting 15, 20 years at the rate it's going now. So I can't recommend it any more than I can't, that's my recommendation. New York Barbell, that's where I would go. All right, 2 more questions in this video. 2 more questions in this video. Again, I'm going to have another Q&A video tomorrow, so come back. Next question is from Alex. Alex says, thanks for putting out so much useful content. You're welcome and thank you. I'm glad you guys appreciate it. Now my question. How should someone approach the iron game when they are lacking mobility and flexibility for certain exercises? He suffers from slight kyphosis. I might not be pronouncing that wrong because I'm the big, hairy, ugly dude. Kyphosis from sitting at desks for most of my life, resulting in very tight shoulders, which are holding me back from full range of motion in overhead pressing. So basically, I can't bring my arms straight up overhead when he's pressing. I'm doing stretches and foam rolling every day for the last 8 to 9 weeks, but progress is very slow and very frustrating. Should I drop exercises like overhead pressing? How important are they? How important is full range of motion? Look, I've been pressing for 30 years. I would say my shoulders are at 95%. Yesterday I did a pressing movement or a pressing day, and my shoulders just weren't okay because I did Zercher squats earlier in the week. Things were a little bit tight. Now, to answer your question, full range of motion, not necessary. When you're doing, now with the shoulder issues, I wouldn't recommend behind the neck presses for you. What I would, because that tends to put extra stress on the shoulders. What I would do is get an incline bench, put it back like about that, like 15 degrees or so, 20 degrees, whatever. Get that incline bench, and I set up in my home gym on a squat rack. Now I unrack the weight. I have it about at chest height. It's better on the shoulders. From the chest, I press up, and then I bring it back down. Now you don't need to do full range of motion, because if you go from here, let me get back a little bit. Go from here to here, here to here, here to here, not full range of motion. You're working your shoulders. The point from here to here is mostly lockout, and that's more triceps. So you don't need to lock out if you're having shoulder issues. You don't need to lock out to get a good shoulder workout in. For that reason, I would definitely keep in overhead presses. I would not drop them, and I wouldn't worry about locking out. I keep the front press. Now, you can also do dumbbell presses, either one arm or seated. I love seated dumbbell presses. You can do the same thing because they allow you a little more flexibility in movement. You're not locked into a strict movement pattern. You can press it up to here, up to here, up to here. You can do them standard or seating. I prefer seated. You might feel a little bit better if you do push press type movement where you do this, boom, with the dumbbells. And you don't have to lock them out, but that'll give plenty of shoulder activation. And from there, if you're moving from this point to that point, it's mostly just triceps. So you don't need to lock them out to get good shoulder activation. So no, I wouldn't drop them. No, I wouldn't worry about full range of motion. So Alex, I hope that helped. One more question in this video, and this is from Mr. M-I-S-T-E-R-E-R, Mr. Mr. says, hey Steve, I have a quick bench press question. Even though I have no physical problems using a wider grip, I've noticed that I'm noticeably stronger using a close grip. It feels best, which is what I prefer. However, am I limiting my bench press potential by only using close grip? Should I use a wider grip as well? I'm only a novice, if that matters. By the way, your channel is great. Keep doing what you do. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, Mr. Here's what I can tell you. When the reason why you feel good on a close grip bench press is probably because you're naturally tricep strong, like the big hairy ugly dude. The big hairy ugly dude is known for his tricepticons. You can see that I got the little potato bicep. My triceps are so big they make my biceps look small. But I'm naturally a tricep presser. Now, close grips tend to use the triceps more than the chest. The wider you go, the more chest activation. Off the chest becomes a little more difficult. So it becomes a little more chest-centric and shoulder-centric than tricep-centric. So you feel stronger with a closer grip because you have more natural tricep strength. You're more tricep dominant than you are chest dominant. Now the question is this limiting your bench press? Well, yes. If you just stick to where you are strong, over the long run, it's not going to be the best for your bench press. So I recommend probably using both wide and narrow during a given workout, or alternating week in and week out using a wide grip and a narrow grip. So a wide grip one week, close grip the next. Now, because you're not naturally chest strong, or because you're more tricep dominant, when you do the wider grip, now, when I do wider grip, I put my middle fingers, I'm not flipping you off, I'm just showing you, I put my middle fingers on the ring on the bench. So that's about where I go for a wide grip. And what I would recommend doing is, because you're so tricep dominant, is doing some work where you just normal bench presses to the chest and some pause work. When you do pause benches, you bring it down, you just count 1 second, 1, and you press up. So I wouldn't just stick to close grips. If you want to get a big bench press, work your weaknesses. You have stronger triceps than chest and front delts, so you want to do more work for your chest. So either do both during a given workout, wider and narrow, or wide and close grip bench in the same workout, or alternate week in and week out, do do wide grip one week, close grip the next. Either way, I want to see you do both. That'll help you bring up your bench press. So guys, that's it for this Q&A video. Again, if I answered your question in this Q&A video, hit up my email below. If you want a free copy of either of my book, I send them no questions asked. If you need help hit up my Q&A link below. I answer every question posted, the best questions. I turn into a Q&A video like this every Saturday, kids. And if you've made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. Please come back. I try to do the best I can to provide good content. If you want to connect with me on social media, all the links are below. Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, all that kind of good stuff. Please connect with me. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.